gentlemen, that is way too announcery voice for you, but I'm going to keep rolling anyway. Welcome to the first ever Andor, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, She-Hulk after show. That's not what this show is. This is just the Star Wars show, right?
This was the joke he was talking about.
I thought we were doing Sister Wives.
Oh, I thought you guys were supposed to laugh at my joke. We decided that you guys would fake laugh at my joke.
I watched She-Hulk for nothing.
Wow. So that is just a railroaded opportunity right there. But we'll continue on. My name is Kevin Smets. No, this is not KOTOR Radio for all the fans here that are familiar with that show on my YouTube channel. This is Scoundrels, Inc., and I can't think of a better name for these three Rugrats.
Unreal.
I don't know how that happened, but we're going to keep rolling with that. That's the Revan mask.
I think we're still rolling.
All right. That's the Revan mask that fell over. This is a pilot episode, I've been reminded to tell you. This is a pilot
more
episode.
than ever, yeah.
Please ignore all of our flaws.
But this is a Star Wars podcast, yes, because you need another one. But this won't be like anyone you've heard, I can guarantee you that. So I'm going to go around real quick and just introduce our co-host. This is Knights of the Round Table, so you never know who's going to lead a given week, although probably not me, more likely, because I like to ramble a lot, and they said they're not going to let me.
No.
But we'll start over here with my main man, Frankie Janisch.
That's right. I am Frank Janisch. You may or may not. You probably don't know me from the Movie Trivia Schmodown. Co-host of the Schmodown Rundown. Did that for a long time. A long time. Sean, I don't think you were ever on the show.
Nope, you never
Brandon,
had me on.
we booked you on the last one, but then we said, nah, you can't be on it.
Are there any,
Kev, you were on there a
former
lot.
champions on the...
Right here. Look at this guy right here.
Former
Yeah, I'm actually the former Star Wars TV champion.
That's true.
That was a thing?
Brandon?
I won
I
a
never
street
watched that.
schmodown once during
Street
the COVID-19 lockdown.
Yeah.
Annie is the number one highest rated or highest number of TKOs against, for, or against?
I believe I'm the most TKO'd player of all time.
That
So
is
you
something to be celebrated.
This is Brandon Hanna, everyone. By
Yeah,
the
so
way.
you can see how the intros are going to go.
Yeah.
You get two sentences in, and then everybody else
And then we
just
heckle.
talks about
Yeah.
No,
and
real
then we
quick, though,
heckle- yeah,
before we get to him,
Yeah.
what made you want to come here and join us to talk Star Wars on a weekly basis, given the such crowded space out there?
Well, I don't care about everybody else's podcast. I love them. I listen to a lot of them. But when we would have our own like group chats, text chats, that's the same thing basically. It was just we were always just busting each other's balls and like sending each other memes and talking about whatever was happening in Star Wars. And I always thought, and I think you thought too, like why wouldn't this just be a fun time, a fun conversation as a podcast or as a show on YouTube, whatever it's going to be. And I'm just interested in just having that group chat come to life in person as opposed to just having a text and then someone texting while as I'm typing something and having to erase it because they made a good joke and now I can't even say my joke. And so now I can just interrupt you in real time.
Well, see, if you wrote better jokes, you wouldn't have to go back and relate.
I just type slow, Sean.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You're talking to the meme masters over here, me and Brandon Hanna, let's be honest.
Actually,
But
Brandon, really, yeah.
come on, what are you talking about? I won that one contest that
You
one
get
day.
mad when we even laugh at your memes.
You didn't laugh at my joke earlier today.
Kevin likes to send me memes that I saw like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, he is the meme master. Anyways, Frank, that's Frank. Now
Yes.
let's talk to the meme master himself, Brandon Hanna. Brandon, what brings you here to our merry band of scoundrels?
Well, it is my understanding that Star Wars podcasts are both very original and very lucrative. So
Yeah, you've come to the right
Yep.
place.
I'm
Brandon.
trying to be an artist, but also get paid.
Yeah, he's doing this just for the money, folks.
Just for the money.
He's not even in for the science.
I'm not even a Star Wars fan.
He's a big Trek guy.
Oh, yeah. What does God need with a podcast? That's a deep cut
You
for
laugh
you.
at that part?
No,
but
I'm
not the
laughing
other?
at Sean because
Hey, so I'm Sean. My mic stand has come loose from the table. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that in a minute.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind everybody that this is our pilot
This is the
episode
pilot.
of Scoundrels, Inc.
Let's
Yeah.
try spinning.
You can't
That's
tell.
a good trick.
he's been dying to say that.
And
Yeah,
that is
he's
like a
been
for, like,
poor,
weeks.
that
He's
is
had
a
that
poor
one
moment
waiting
to use it right
for-
there.
I
too.
said it before cameras were
Yeah.
rolling.
Do you-
That was Legends. This is canon.
Do you want me to spin the
that's fine.
mic? Because I feel like that'd be dangerous. And
You just turned it off.
We got to do something.
Yeah, that's
R2.
my plan.
Without
There
any
you go.
further
That's my
ado,
plan.
I'd like you to introduce yourself and why you wanted to do a Star Wars show while you adjust your mic at the same time.
Yeah,
Well,
give him your mic.
the
and while
problem
he
is
adjusts it.
you know what? That's a good idea. Brandon, you lean this over.
I'd like to remind
Okay,
everybody
hello.
that this is our pilot episode of Scoundrels,
So,
Inc.
yeah, my name's
There you go.
Sean. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and Frank was in my kitchen, and we were talking about Star Wars,
But we were also eating what kind of pizza?
and we were eating Philly cheesesteak pizza.
Oh, from Domino's,
Which-
not sponsored.
Which
yet.
is our original Philly cheesesteak recipe. If you join the Patreon that we haven't started yet, we will give you how to order a Philly cheesesteak pizza from Domino's. But of course, from there it was like, Frank, why don't we start a Star Wars podcast? And he said, all right.
Well, I think I said I already am.
Well, he actually said, yeah, we're already working
already
on
working
it.
on
You
it.
weren't invited,
Yeah,
but now
yeah.
you're invited.
Yeah.
So
I called Kevin. I was like, I kind of think Sean should be in this.
Yeah.
And the second he did that, to be honest, I was like, that's a no-brainer. Of course, let's bring him on.
yeah,
We were
I'm
excited.
frankly, I'm a little
All
little
right.
hurt that
You're a little hurt.
Honestly,
that I, just said
I
it was
was
a no-brainer?
against it. I was against
He was against it.
Brandon and I do not notoriously don't get along.
No.
I'm also not on mic. Nope,
Yeah,
there we go.
there we go.
Yeah.
I try to silence him every chance I can.
It's right.
However, nope, don't put that next to this.
Especially for people who
We've-
don't get
we've
along,
got
we
it
need to sit
working
very
again.
tight and
Okay.
close together.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, here we go.
There we go.
I'm
Get
also
in
on
there.
the lowest chair. You can tell order of importance by height of chair.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Third place.
But it's the most comfortable chair, probably.
Third place.
Yeah, but I have to sit forward, otherwise I look like this, and
Oh, are you sure that's gonna
Bronze
okay.
is still an
otherwise-
Olympic
Now
medal.
you look like Boba Fett sitting on his throne right now. I'm doing this for respect.
in the sons of Tatooine.
Yeah, I don't. I'm afraid to touch anything else right now.
Oh, I should say that this is sponsored by our show is sponsored by 7-Eleven and the Big Gulp. Get your Big Gulps today. Right? Is that the slogan?
That's something.
That's the
Or
that's-
tomorrow.
Yes.
I thought we were gonna go with gulp it down, but yeah, that works.
But yeah, so you're good.
I'm
You
good.
did
I'm
sit-
back.
yeah.
I'm back online. Am I registering there? Yeah, we're good. We're good.
I think Zam Wessel would have enjoyed a big gulp if she didn't kick the bucket a little too soon.
I feel like she would.
Producer, how we doing?
Are we good?
Yeah, he's not.
Oh,
You know,
he's
you know
not-
what
he's
always?
not-
He's, all of a sudden, he's shy.
Yeah,
all
all
of
of
a
a sudden he's
It
shy.
always
shy.
looks good when there's a producer in the background. So we should
Yeah,
always
yeah.
look over and kind of talk to someone off, even if there's no producer.
One day you might see this person.
Producer cam.
And he's in a booth actually. We're actually in a full studio. This is
But it's not a studio booth. It's like a diner booth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cloners on Camino. All right.
A lot of
So
impressions, a lot of innocuous lines. That's what
Bad
that's what
impressions,
the
too.
show is. Yeah, that's actually what our text chat is.
and of course, for me, the reason I wanted to come do this show is, I used to do the KOTOR radio show, which was mainly focused on KOTOR, but we always found ourselves, meandering and talking about Star Wars stuff anyway. So might as well be a show for the fans. Also, I want to connect closer with the fans of KOTOR that have been with me since literally 2006, which is crazy. 2004, actually. So I want to stick with the fans. I haven't forgotten about you guys. We haven't forgotten about the KOTOR stuff, and we'll get into that a little bit. And so this was a good opportunity to kind of merge both things. My love for Star Wars, my love for the KOTOR movies I do, and my love for my friends here. So even this guy.
We paid him to say that last part.
Yes. And that speech was sponsored by Big Gulp. Gulp it down.
And if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, just shoot me a Twitter DM. We'll talk numbers, especially you guys, movie guys. Adam, the other guy, is his name
You
Paul?
think they've made it this
He
far
has
in
a
the
Venmo.
episode?
Yeah, Adam loves our content.
I feel like a lot of people switched off when the Revan mask fell over, and that's
fair.
I mean, that whole left side of the
foreshadowing.
table is it's cursed.
It's
falling
It is cursed.
apart.
Something's gonna come out of the ceiling and crash onto your computer.
What's the? We can start enter in the comments right now. Start taking bets when this Empire poster falls
Yeah,
off the wall,
it's-
because it's gonna happen.
It's kind of like a metaphor for this podcast.
Yeah,
What's,
it really
what's
is.
holding it up? Less than you think.
Yes.
It is falling apart in front of your eyes.
All right.
Kevin, you have some updates on the KOTOR movie channel.
Yes, actually, there's a good opportunity to do that as well. So I'm sure a lot of you are tuning in and excited for our shows. We have the Revan prequel series, obviously, which features Revan and Malik during the Mandalorian Wars that featured before KOTOR. And then, of course, we have everybody's been talking about how they want a KOTOR 3. And then they had the MMO, which a lot of people weren't excited about.
And
they
it's
didn't
not
like how
KOTOR 3.
and they didn't treat the Revan the right way. Well, we made our own KOTOR 3 series. Full script's already been written. I've read it. It's amazing.
I've read it and you wrote it, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you wrote it.
Nope, for this one,
No.
this was conceived back when I had my battle with cancer a year ago. So I was one of the forerunners and co-writers for the Revan prequel series, which, like I said, that takes place before KOTOR. Then I had cancer, beat cancer, smashed cancer.
Smash it.
But while I was away, the gang, they wanted to continue going, and I wasn't able to do it. And so they ended up writing. We've always wanted, it was an idea that I had, based on an early idea I had of if there was ever a KOTOR 3 game. I thought what would be great was you take the lead from the KOTOR 1 game, and you pit him off against pit him off. That sounds dirty. Square him off against the lead of KOTOR 2, which is the Exile, which in canon is female, and her name is Mitra Surik. So our KOTOR 3, I have been authorized to tell you guys some story bits about it. That's the exciting thing I'm going to tell you. But it's a KOTOR 3 series, and we basically have not ignored the parts from the novel and the MMO, but what we did at the end of one of our movies was do a twist on it where the events of the novel, which absolutely destroy, and the MMO destroy Revan, I think. And that's personal. I'm not trying... all to you. If you love the MMO, that's great. It's a fun game. I just didn't like what they did with Revan. So our story actually takes all of that and still makes it canon in a way, but makes it a force vision from Mitra. And then you go back to the beginning of the end, or the beginning before we get to the MMO, and then we branch off at our own KOTOR 3. KOTOR 3 is about, it's a story of Revan now in the future, Mitra in the future. Revan has a son named Varen. You see that in one of our movies at the very end of Knights of the Darkness.
Well, if you didn't.
Well, I'm being allowed. I am being allowed to share some of these story elements. 2 episodes have already been released, so you'll be able to see it. But the fun thing about the sequel trilogy or sequel series we're doing is it does our original idea, which they have had a game. Mitra Surik is in charge of the Coruscant Jedi Council. Logan Starr, or our Revan, is in charge of his own on Dantooine, his own Jedi, but he goes a little more gray. He has learned from both the light and the dark side if you follow the movies or you follow the games, and so he's teaching a way to find balance between the light and the dark. And meanwhile, his son was studying under him. Didn't really like that. Didn't really vibe with him. You kind of see that in bits of visions here. You're not going to actually see how that goes down right away. He goes off and joins with Mitra, and that's a much more rigid, like what you're seeing in the prequels and the movies on Coruscant. So you have this clashing of ideologies amidst the backdrop of a new evil thing. We're actually doing the true Sith, but we're doing it differently than how the MMO and everyone else covered it. And basically, with the backdrop of the true Sith starting to rise, and another big twist is someone that was an ally to your character in KOTOR 2, if you ever played the game or you watched our movie saga. Someone that was an ally is actually one of the main villains, and then it's revealed. So I'm not going to tell you who. You'd have to watch our show, and you can find that. The show is called Shadow of the Sith, KOTOR 3. It's basically, we call it KOTOR 3, but it's a movie series based on our story script for KOTOR 3. And then, of course, the prequel Revan. We've decided this is the next announcement. The prequel Revan is still going to remain on hold. We kept that on hold right now. We feel that the episode we did is a nice little splice of life of here's Revan and Malak in their prime as Jedi Knights taking on the Mandalorians. It was perfect to release right around the time of the Mandalorian getting all of its popularity. We want to slow that. We're going to slow that down. It's hard to do 2 series at once, and we were thinking about piggybacking back and forth. With time, we just can't do that. So we're going to focus on the KOTOR 3 series first, get that script out, get that show out the door. But it's going to be great because you're going to really have another one of those father-son dynamics, especially as the galaxy starts falling into war again. How is it going to be when you have Revan basically on an opposite side of ideology of his son and also of of Revan's best friend, which was Mitra Surik. So I know I meandered there a lot. I get excited when I talk KOTOR, but the main news is we are officially back underway. I'm actually recording VO tomorrow for it. The gang is working on it, the KOTOR crew. These guys, have met him, Brandon Twig, Jenks, and Greg. These guys, Greg is such a great script writer. He wrote the scripts for Revan, the prequels, and this sequel series. And then Brandon Twig, I mean, the amount of work that guy does when he hacks into that KOTOR thing and then sets up all the cameras and sets up the lips so they animate to our revolt. It's crazy what they do. That can be a whole new show. And then Jenks, of course, for all the CGI wizardry. So long story short, I'm excited when I talk about KOTOR, but that's all underway, and I'm just glad that the fans here are, transitioning. They can see a little bit more about what we do when we're not talking about KOTOR and talk about the regular Star Wars stuff. And Frank, you actually played KOTOR for the first time.
I did.
What are your thoughts on it? The first game.
Extremely fun. I had a good time. Starforge was a biatch of a time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like wave after wave after wave after wave after wave. I was like, what? How many saves I had to do? It was like incredible.
Saves coming.
But it was really,
save often.
but actually, it was like when you get to spoiler alert, Malak. It's like you went through all of that. Like it's like gratifying. You went through all of that to get to that fight, even though you kind of like, well, at least I did. You kind of fought him like a little bitch.
Yeah, you kind of
just
steamroll.
run.
Yeah.
And then saber
Now-
throw, run,
now-
saber throw.
That's not how Logan Starr fought him.
Here's the one thing that sticks out in my mind about KOTOR 1. I remember being on Terrace forever.
Yeah.
Hated that.
I don't think I'd spent a whole lot on Terrace because I did actually. I remember.
You have to. It's like the,
Yeah.
It's
No,
so-
I did,
so that's
and I
the-
was just like, I can't wait to leave.
Yeah.
I can't wait to leave.
Like Terrace
I'm
is
so
such
done.
a beautifully designed planet. Like it's such an interesting locale, but they slog you down for so long on that planet that you kind of bounce off of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Same with KOTOR 2, actually, with Paragus.
Yeah.
I hated Paragus more than anything. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and that's you'll see when you play that.
I play
But
it.
it's like a mining colony or whatever, and it's like a cool location. It's like around this asteroid field, but like you're on Paragus forever, and you're just like, dude, I can't wait to get to the star map and be able to select what planet I go to. So
Oh, what was the other planet? It starts with an M in KOTOR. I forget.
Moorband?
No, not Moorband.
Morag.
no,
That's from Guardians
why
of
am
the
I
Galaxy.
blanking out? I know the movie. I did the movie.
It's
The
it's
water
The water.
planet?
Yeah, the water.
Yeah,
what-
why am I
can
blanking?
Oh,
We
they
cut
make
this out.
they make the Kolto.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the planet's
Oh my
called. though.
god! What is it?
Manon.
Thank you to our producer.
Something
Yeah.
about a Manon.
Manon. Yeah, I was also ready to get out of that place too. Holy hell! But it was. I had a great time playing that game. Actually, I was like blowing through that game, and then I got up to Korriban.
They renamed
Yeah,
it for no
Yeah.
reason. They should have given
And
a
so-
KOTOR a shout out and called it Korriban.
Well, okay, so part of the reason they renamed it does make sense. Lucas didn't want the confusion between Coruscant and Korriban. Like,
Oh yeah.
excuse you, we're in the middle of a podcast. I don't care if someone's dying; they can
Well,
wait.
we do a little bit.
Frank cares.
yeah, but he didn't care about the difference between Sith and Bith.
No.
Wait. Okay.
All right. Hold on. I want to go back. I want to go
Think
back to.
about Coruscant. The entire planet is one big city.
Is that right?
Thanks,
Yeah.
Rick Oli.
Oh my gosh.
It's an ecumenopolis.
Yeah.
All right. Stop making up words.
What's up with Star Wars, by the way? That's my one
What's
thing.
up with Star Wars?
Every
Star
planet
Wars.
has
What's
to be
up with
one-
that?
Every planet. Here's my stand-up routine.
Oh god.
Why does I do meander.
Yeah,
Why
I
does
know.
every planet have to be one type of atmosphere? We're on a jungle planet.
what about-
we're on a snow planet.
What about Naboo?
It's
Naboo's got 3 biomes:
well, he just ruined my
swamp, ocean, and
Wait,
What
swamp.
you got now?
It's got swamp,
way to
ocean,
blow my
and
spot,
Italy.
as CM Punk would say.
Italy.
Way to blow my spot.
It's got Lake Como. Okay. Como.
That's
Yes, but
Yeah.
lake. It's a lake
Chris
town,
Como.
but
Yeah, yeah.
that's the Venice
My
planet.
son was like, "That's
That's the lake planet, and then
All
you
right,
have the
It's
ocean.
got a
Lake-
planet
Wait,
core
hold
that
on.
you
I
can
wanna-
swim through.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Kevin, I want to go back to your announcement.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have a debate on the show at one point about whether gray Jedi should or shouldn't exist?
Oh yes, we are. Even if I can already answer.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
But I'm gonna throw a chair at you probably at some point.
No. You're entitled to your opinion.
See, you need to be a part of
Well,
the
see
Jedi
that
Order.
this
to
is
be a
why
Jedi.
you need to watch that sequel series
That's
because
why
it-
Ahsoka's not a Jedi.
if I'm
She got
picking
banished.
Well-
it up, which I think I am,
Yeah.
you don't believe there should be gray Jedi.
I
now we're
think
having
it is a
different
gray area.
conversations.
I think
That's
the
why it's
concept of gray
Lost
Jedi
Ark.
is fraught with issues, right? Because if gray Jedi, from a storytelling perspective, if gray Jedi could exist, then it should be the proper course, is my issue. And Star Wars deals in black and white almost entirely when it comes to Jedi and Sith. Everyone was kind of
Yeah.
predicting Ahsoka or Ezra or Kanan or, Cal Kestis, right, are going to become these gray Jedi figures, or that Rey would become a gray Jedi figure,
See,
or
they
Kylo.
don't see, but they don't earn that mantle. The reason why
I agree.
Revan earns that mantle because he is the prodigal knight. He came back
Well,
from
and-
falling to the dark,
and that's
saw
the other-
light, and then realized
Okay.
that both wasn't for him. If you see my
So-
movie, I wrote a new line of dialogue where he says, "I've seen the light, I've
Can
seen
we,
the dark. I'm not one. You can't put me in one or the other."
Can we, hey, our editor,
yeah.
can you put a counter on there at the bottom of the screen that says every time Kevin says, "If you've seen my movie,"
Well, he hasn't seen my movie. He says he has, but he didn't know. He didn't know who Bobek was. Super fans.
Bobak Fett, yeah, he's my favorite.
That's not. That's not.
See, I'm wearing a Bobak Fett shirt.
Look at that. That's a great shirt. I like that.
It's also a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
shirt.
it's great. I like that a lot.
Heroes and Villains, sponsor of the show.
I like Jango
not
Fett,
really.
personally.
Well, Boback Fett was his dad.
Who was Jango Fett's dad?
No, but Boback Fett was Jango Fett's dad.
Oh.
No. I would love to debate that though, and that's part
Yeah,
of the,
I think that's
But here's
an
the thing:
interesting.
in universe, in the story, in universe, Mitra and the older Jedi, like they're like, no, you can't go gray. You're gonna go dark eventually. Whereas Revan's like, the three people that lead his council are Bastila, who turned bad, and then in our movies, if you've seen my movie, and Bastila, who turned bad and then turned good. Revan, who turned bad and turned good, and then Bria Hudson, which is a character brand new to my movies, obviously, which I also gave her a backstory, who was bad and turned good. So those are the three that saw both the light and the dark, and they learned lessons from both.
And canonically, we've got a few examples too from Legends. We've got Kyle Katarn.
Oh yeah, Kyle Katarn.
What I can't.
A lot of the
remember-
video games you can turn bad.
Yeah,
and
a
then
lot
good
of the
again.
video games
Yeah.
have. It's really. I think my problem with Grey Jedi, it's really a video game concept more than anything, and I think that's where it shines the best. Is you've got these. You can kind of float in the same way that you can in Fable or Oblivion or Skyrim. You can float that middle line in a way that fairy tale storytelling, which is what Star Wars is, doesn't do. A gray area as well. But we're gonna have a full episode on this
That would be great.
after Andor.
Yeah.
You play dark or light when you played through it?
KOTOR?
Yeah.
So I started light, and then I was looking at all the responses for dark. I'm like, they're so
They're-
fun.
well,
I just
yeah,
want to know the responses from
Part
these
of
people.
part of the issue too is like
I'm
I
telling
swear
you.
to God, every time I talk,
Yeah.
we've got a
I had a
fucking
little
swoop
button
button.
I
right
hire.
there,
Yeah,
like,
he has a
yeah.
button.
I
He
have a
presses
button. I
it.
have
The
a
guy
little
drives by
button.
every time. Sean.
All right, so because I play gray in the games, I always play gray in the games because I want to be a good guy, but it's too cool to shoot lightning out of my fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's
You
like
know.
so easy you could rob that guy and get like 100 credits
Right.
so that he can buy a med kit.
Right.
Yeah, you're evil. That's terrible.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, I went full.
I played
evil.
full light, by the way.
I went full evil, like probably 25% of the game. I was like, no, you know what? I'm just
Yeah.
using every dark
Well,
answer,
you had your
snarky
had
answer.
your turn in
Yeah.
a very Star Wars way. You had your
Actually,
turn.
that's damn.
Here's the thing, though.
Look at
If
that.
like the Force for me was real, like I think I would use the dark side a lot for my own favor, but I wouldn't like want to take over the galaxy or have a Sith apprentice. Like I would just do it to get ahead. You know what I mean? Like move cars out of the way if there's a traffic jam, stuff like that.
Wow.
I disagree.
You disagree.
Well, the good news is you haven't seen my movie, and since you did
You
all
won't
the
let me
dark
yet.
side,
You won't let
Jedi
me
uses
yet.
the Force
You-
for
you could
knowledge and
now-
defense, Sean.
you can now watch and you can watch
Never
that movie.
attack.
That's not good radio right there.
We're not on radio.
We're talking over each other.
He has a
now.
face. He has a face made for radio.
Damn.
I thought he had a face made for
I disagree.
puppeteering, but that's just me.
I don't know what's just worse. Holy sh!
But
You
yeah,
know.
since my character, spoiler.
If you've seen his movie.
All right, well, yeah, if
we
you've
do,
seen
we
the
do
movie,
toe the line a little
If-
bit too. We do tease the audience a little bit, but in the end, since obviously the sequel series, he does come back from the dark. So when you watch the movie now, you get that whole different experience.
Yeah.
because it does branch off in several different
That's
ways.
like the one thing you were actually excited about. You're like, you went to dark. Okay, now you can see the light.
Yeah, I was really
like-
excited.
You would, you little.
And I don't think you don't need to watch the full trilogy. I think what you'll really get a kick out of is
I'll
how
watch
we
the
did.
whole thing.
We should just watch the third one together, though. Have some beers.
We're
But
gonna-
the third one,
we're
the
gonna-
third
I'm
one
gonna watch
with
the whole
Star Forge and all that is great.
This would be great.
Guys, we
the best.
plan on doing at least 6 weeks of this podcast. So one of these weeks, we'll actually watch the movies and talk about
That's
them.
all we booked the studio for.
But yeah, we've only booked this studio for 6 weeks. We'll see what the reception is after that.
Yeah, we had to get out of here soon because Joe Rogan comes in here and takes
Yeah,
over the stage
this,
space.
yeah, this
So-
is the Jerry. They put up the
Yeah,
fake
yeah.
brick wall.
Yeah,
and
We're
the-
actually in
yeah.
the volume right now.
with an American flag.
Yeah, this is Joe Rogan shoots his podcast at the volume.
That's funny.
That's
Coming to you
bad.
live from the volume.
Live from Studio Volume. So now, if you haven't played the KOTOR games yet, I don't know why you're a fan of this channel, but if you're coming to us from the Schmodown audience or one of our other things we're involved in, or you're a friend or a family member and you've never played KOTOR, now is the time to do it. It's on sale right now for $1 at humblebundle.com.
Yes.
It's for Steam only.
You get it on. You
I
can get it
did-
on your phone too.
I did play it on. I downloaded it for the Xbox.
No, but
I'm saying if you. There's,
yes,
there's another
but
way to play.
the
but
Humble
yeah,
Bundle
the
deal
Humble Bundle
is
deal.
Steam only.
Yeah.
And if you pay
Okay.
$10 or more, or it might be $7 or more, we're not sure. We didn't verify that before we started. You get like 17 other games.
Yeah, it's crazy. I donated
Who has the
$10
time?
just to see it, and you got 17 games all included. are all those Gray Jedi games like
Right.
Jedi Knight,
All those
Jedi
Greta
Academy.
Gerwig games.
Greta Gerwig.
including Lady Bird.
Lego Star Wars, I think. Force
Little
Unleashed.
Women.
Force Unleashed. That's another one.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Lego Star Wars Force Unleashed, or Lego Star Wars Force Awakens is the only Lego one I think.
Okay.
And then Force Unleashed, KOTOR 2, Jedi Outcast, and then like 6 pinball games and a
Star Wars pinball.
and a Marvel game for some reason.
I thought I saw an Alien vs Predator.
Yeah, and an
logo,
AVP
too.
game. Yeah, so there's some
For
weird
$10,
stuff
so.
thrown in there.
Space
Humble
is
Bundle
canon.
is a great place to get. Keep an eye on Humble Bundle because they do Star Wars bundles all the time for Star Wars games, but it is only for the PC.
And we should.
I'm
I'm bearing the
actually-
lead here. I wish I remember the name of the charity, but when you do it, actually the money goes towards charity. which-
Yeah, it's
Starlight.
it's probably I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
You guys
yeah.
kill time for a minute.
Yeah. So Steam.
You've been
you
doing
got
that
it
the
on
whole
How much
time.
did you play for it on the Xbox?
I think it was like $10.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kinda like $10.
It's
Not
it's
bad.
$10 on mobile, $10 on the Switch,
Yeah.
$10
And
on the Xbox.
I guess I should say KOTOR stands for Knights of the Old Republic. If this is from movie trivia Schmodown
Whoa!
fans,
You just blew my mind, dude.
or
I did not know that.
I literally I keep thinking we're only going to our KOTOR audience here, which
Whoa.
is I love our massive fan base. But included is the new people. Knights of the Old Republic. Story goes, it came out in 2003. I was playing through it and I loved it
silent.
so much I wanted to make machinima.
There's also a motorcycle game
a motorcycle
called
game?
Full Throttle. I don't know.
What else would you call it?
It is, Kevin, you're right. It is the Starlight Bundle supporting the Starlight
cool.
Children's Foundation.
Nice.
So buy it, KOTOR, and you give back to the children. So, but yeah, and if you don't want to play, if you don't want to spend 60 hours or 30 hours, however long it takes you, how long did it take you, by the way? What was your final hour
like
count?
35, 36 hours.
About 40 hours.
Solid, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
fun.
I
to
could
do
have
all
spent.
this-
Yeah, I could have spent another 10 hours easily.
I think what you'll see in our movie, some of those little side, like little not mini quests, but some of the side things, like you could tell the ones that I like because I'll just put them in. I'll sprinkle them in. It's a quick little
Yeah.
aside, but yeah, you could just explore the galaxy, do so many side quests and stuff like that. But if you don't have time for that, that's what my movies are. That's literally why I made my movies for my roommate Greg Schneider at the time, because I know he would never have the patience for it. And I got to the twist, and I was like, "There's a big twist in the game." I'm not going to tell you what. I guess everybody would know. There's a big twist, and I think it's on par with the twist in Empire, if not. I mean,
yeah,
so-
it's pretty good.
I
It's
think
pretty
it's
good.
I actually think
It
it's
blew me
a
away.
better twist than the twist in Empire.
Yeah, yeah.
personally.
And by the way, that twist, which should we talk about?
No, we won't.
Not yet.
We won't spoil it. We'll,
I
we'll-
thought that was Rey's fate when I first saw The Force Awakens, and I guess we'll talk about
fair.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd have been. Cool
I
too.
thought that
Yeah.
was Rey's story, especially when you see her flashback, her Force vision in The
Oh,
Force
sure. Yeah,
Awakens,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
see her with everybody. I was like, that's her looking at her. Like, well, I don't want to say yet, but
Yeah, that'd have been. Damn, that'd
yeah.
have been cool.
That's
even though
good.
the game's been out since 2003, so this is not talking spoilers is a little ridiculous. But we'll wait for a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, but I think people still always rediscover that game. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, the twist. You're
The,
talking about
the,
the twist.
the twist in Empire, that's when you find out that he can just get a robot hand that just looks
Yeah.
just like a regular
Yeah, that's when they
hand.
introduced robotics.
Yeah.
So
find
it's
out-
like
yeah.
it's like what's the big deal about losing a hand? And
Yeah, exactly.
You find out nothing means anything.
There's
The
no
stakes-
consequences.
The
There's no
stakes aren't real.
stakes.
There's no
Exactly.
stakes
You
in
can
Star
make out
Wars.
with your sister. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we want to talk about some D23 stuff.
Well, before
happened?
there is one more KOTOR thing we got to talk about.
What is it?
So the KOTOR remake, if you follow the
Oh.
news, if you follow Star Wars Explained, or I'm sure Force Center talked about this too. Kevin and I were really excited they were going to do a KOTOR remake.
I was half excited when I was excited
Were you-
when they were remaking it. I had a lot of messages onto my KOTOR thing saying, "Oh, you're gonna redo your movies now with the new engine?" And I'm like, "No, that took me 10 years to do those movies.
Sure.
Like, so
Yeah.
I'm not redoing it." So, and
No.
we already, if you were a fan of KOTOR Radio, our show the show that preceded this show. We used to do a thing called Kamikaze Comments, where whenever I would buy Facebook marketing to send the link out to people, okay, when the fans that love it, they love the movies. It's just, oh, we praise Disney should hire you and stuff like that. But whenever I bought marketing, and so it would reach people that did not know about the KOTOR game originally, I would get a lot of comments in the comment section that were less than friendly because they're looking at 2003 graphics. So I would call it Kamikaze Comments. Maybe we'll resurrect that in the next few weeks.
Well, yeah.
But it would be like, what are these Atari graphics? It's like in 2003 they were good
Yeah,
graphics,
they
but
were-
now they're like,
Well,
what is this?
hold on. In 2003, they were okay graphics.
They were okay. It was the Xbox.
They were okay. Well, the problem with a game that large, this is irrelevant to the conversation. The problem with a game that size is you always have to downplay the graphics a little bit. So a different AAA title will have better graphics simply because it has less content.
Yeah. But I argue that the second I've literally made now, we've made 6 2-hour, 3-hour movies basically, and when you watch it, and with these 2003 graphics, you're so invested in the story because the story's so good, you forget about it. When you were playing through it, right? It wasn't a redone graphics; it was the 2003 graphics, and you forget about the graphics because you're invested in the story.
The one thing I will say, if you're playing on Steam or you're playing on computer, you can mod the graphics to be a little bit more up to date.
You haven't seen my movies then, because that's what we use those mods to make our graphics look a little better too. So at least like it is a step up from the Xbox. So when you see my movies, you will see that the graphics, like they're in HD.
Haven't you seen any of my movies?
So, but before the digression, we've seen the movies.
But yeah, the remake is back on. So
the remake is back on. It was originally with Asper Studios.
Yes.
Sony saw a alpha version of it or some sample footage of what they were working on, and Sony said, "What the hell are you doing?" and cut them from the project.
How do you blow that?
I don't know. I don't know how.
I hope it leaks.
That's what I want. I want to see what was so bad with it that they couldn't get it made, and why Sony just said no. Like they had already spent, I think, 3 years or something on the game.
Jesus.
So, it's some inordinate amount of time, and basically what they had was crap. Saber Interactive has taken over. They've done the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition back in 2011 or 2010. And they did the Witcher 3 Complete Edition and a bunch of other re-releases.
Oh, good.
So they kind of specialize in these re-released games. So that tells me it's in good hands, but it also tells me that they're not changing anything. I
don't know if they're gonna keep the same gameplay, which I hope they do.
Well, the thing is, Saber Interactive, most of the remakes they've done have just been the same game, identically with better graphics, and then they'll change a couple things that didn't work properly. So I don't remember what's broken in KOTOR 1, but there's a few things that don't.
They'll definitely in KOTOR 2 they'll bring back the the planet.
KOTOR 2's got a lot of broken. So if they remake KOTOR 2, they'll have to rebuild a lot there. But KOTOR 1, I don't know what they would have to fix. But I'm sure there's some mechanics that just didn't work properly.
Maybe they throw Yavin 4 in, because that was an Xbox exclusive, if I remember.
Yeah, because I went into Yavin. It's just like basically a store.
Yeah.
With all a bunch of items and stuff.
But I loved it because in my movie, I staged like in a part at the end of the second movie. I do end it very Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And so what a cool vision, when you're up there and you could see like the planet and the gas giant and stuff like that. And I have like this cool shot. Basically, when our heroes are in doubt at the end of the second movie in the first trilogy, and I shoot it there, and you know what I mean. I was like, great. I do believe actually that it is on the computer too, but it was an Xbox exclusive.
You might have to mod it for, because I know when I played the KOTOR games, I played on the PC. I played them when they originally came out, and I bounced off of them. I didn't kind of understand role playing games at the time, ironically, but I modded KOTOR 1 and 2 to hell. So I know I probably if it's in there, it might be modded in.
Oh yeah, the guys that do my movies graphics, they've modded everything. They've brought in, and I believe they've brought in literally models from the MMO to bring into, because it's like eventually there's so many faces, and it's like we're running out of faces. We have so many characters that we have MMO models in the game, new ships. It's crazy the amount of work they do. With the remake, they probably won't have access to that. This KOTOR engine was designed in such a way where they can literally open it up like a toy box, set cameras, animate cameras, program the cameras. It's all figured out how to do that. And I think with a remake, it won't be able to do that. But I'm excited for the remake because I just want to play it again.
Yeah. And I will tell you,
I just want to play it.
Sometimes KOTOR doesn't run so well on new hardware. I will say that. All right. Let's rapid fire D23.
Yeah. So at D23,
is this where you're gonna put like a graphic and then like rapid fire with like bullet holes all over the screen and then a 3D
well, no,
thing
you know what you need to do?
fire?
You need to animate stormtrooper blasters shooting at us.
You act like
missing.
we have a budget
but because they're stormtroopers, they're missing.
Yeah, but
so this wall's got to be.
That's like the Pulp Fiction
question.
scene.
We were just pantomiming. Is that the word pantomiming? We were just pantomiming dodging, but if you were to dodge,
if you're dodging,
then
you're
you
more
get shot.
likely.
Yeah, because then they actually dodge
you're like,
right into
you're
the
like
hole.
hit me. You're like,
come on, I'm over here.
Only Imperial stormtroopers could be so precise, Kevin.
The Sand People are easily startled, but they'll soon be back, and in greater numbers.
They walk single file to hide their numbers.
All right, and so
Like a panther.
so at D23, I did not. I guess the Mandalorian trailer or teaser trailer, it was shown at Star Wars Celebration, and blew my mind. This one was finally released. It wasn't the actual. There's like two different versions. Of this trailer.
It's almost the same trailer.
It's almost, yeah.
The Celebration version has a few more shots, and this one has some more complete visual effects. And I think they changed one of the shots out, but it's basically the same trailer.
But like, I think one of the newer shots they showed was just all like Mando's walking through a bunch of other Mandalorians. Like that one shot, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, it was just like riddled with Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Like this entire trailer, and the music, I don't know about you, but the music got me really
Music's
amped
great.
up. I was like, dude, I cannot wait for this series to come out next year. I think it was originally like in February, March. At Once Upon a Time, they put that out there. They didn't say this. They didn't say that in this trailer. But I would imagine probably closer to May, probably May 4th. If I'm gonna guess, I have no knowledge of if that's true or not.
I didn't put a date here. Whoops.
Yeah, there is no like official release date.
You'll get it when you get it.
That's right. And then Tales of the Jedi, that looks really incredible. Basically split between Count Dooku and Ahsoka.
Now that
Their
we've
stories.
seen it in high def, we can clarify something. When
That's
you guys
not. Yeah.
I'm about to light you up right now, buddy.
Oh, here we go.
About to light you up. So I get all these texts when they're at Celebration, because these cool guys got to go to
Well,
Celebration.
hold on.
That's
But
true.
here's the thing: we weren't in the panel. We
Not for
saw.
Tales
You
of
just
Jedi,
saw
no.
what
We saw
well,
a
of
TikTok
course.
video.
And then I got sent that TikTok video, and of course, when you see it, a grainy, one of the characters in the Tales of the Jedi looks like he's wearing the Revan mask there, and it's not the Revan mask.
not.
When you see it in high def, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's just someone. Yeah,
That was
Just a guy.
very cool.
yeah, just a dude.
Very cool. I
What's
can't
the
wait.
Sith name for the dude?
Inquisitor?
He is a Sith Inquisitor. That's correct.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a Sith Inquisitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
The guy he's talking about in the trailer
Oh,
for
that's
the
cool.
Tales of the
Oh,
Jedi. Yeah.
because
It's
it's
a
from
Sith
the. So I wasn't sure. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't rewatch
It's
the
from
Tales
book.
from the
Read
Jedi trailer,
book.
It's hype, man.
but because I remember it from what I'd already seen. I'm like, oh, I'll get to it, and then I forgot to watch it before today.
they show a younger Qui-Gon with Dooku, and I'm all about that
love young
episode.
Qui-Gon.
Well, and young Qui-Gon is voiced by
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson's son.
No. Is it?
Yeah, they got Liam Neeson's son to
Oh,
voice
the younger version of
the
Qui-Gon.
young
Yeah.
Qui-Gon.
And then they'll bring in. I
Yeah,
think,
then they'll bring Liam Neeson,
Liam Neeson
for
for the-
older.
actually,
older,
every
yeah,
character is voiced by their sons.
Yeah.
So Christopher Lee's son.
that's nepotism. Yeah.
Well, it's Christopher Lee.
Tales of the nepotism.
Actually,
God, a true Hollywood story.
Christopher Lee's the one I'm kind of concerned about because I think
He passed away.
well, Christopher Lee passed away, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Dooku is voiced by Tom Kane in the Clone. Brandon, Kevin, one of you guys know who voices Dooku in the Clone Wars?
Well, he
Come on,
wasn't.
champ.
He wasn't in this. The
Me
Clone
son
Wars. Oh
don't
yeah.
think so.
No,
Yeah,
I'm retired.
So I believe
Actually, I have one more match. 2 weeks from now, I'm getting that belt back.
I believe it's Tom Kane in the Clone Wars, and Tom Kane, I believe,
Voiced
Yoda.
Yoda in KOTOR, not Yoda, but
Yeah, and
Andor.
he also voiced Yoda in the Clone Wars, and he voiced Admiral Yularen.
Yeah.
He did a lot of it,
He's great.
but he had a stroke and no longer voice acts.
Yeah.
So
Really?
I'm
This
yeah.
was a while
So
ago,
I'm this was a little while ago. So I'm concerned at who they're gonna have voice Dooku because
if you listen,
I can
when
do it.
you go back and rewatch the trailer, you do hear Dooku speak.
and it's not
And
identical, right?
It's not identical, but it's still like you're like, yes, that is
Yeah,
Dooku.
okay.
So it's like, yeah, it's not off-putting or anything like that. And also, it's a younger Dooku, mind you. So even if you had Christopher Lee, like you would have like James Earl Jones version in
Yeah.
Rogue One, and well, now they have apparently the technology because you heard him in Obi-Wan, just sounded fantastic. So they could. I'm not worried about the voices anymore, really, since we have like the technology to really match those to the age that they're portraying, I guess, now these days. Or at least it's very good in my estimation.
Yeah, Tom Kane
yeah.
voicing Vandar helped, and Yoda is helped because we've stolen lines from Clone Wars to repurpose for KOTOR. Kat Tabor She voiced Mission Vow in the video game.
Oh, did she?
Oh, I killed her in the game.
Spoiler.
And she
alert.
voiced. And,
No, but you don't have to kill her in the game.
and for those
but
wondering,
I did in the
for
game.
those wondering, Catherine Tabor was the voice of Padme in.
Exactly.
Wow.
And because Catherine Tabor did not, there's Mission Vow is not, there's no KOTOR 3. We actually, I'm at liberty to say that she is one character, legacy character that we do bring back for the sequel series, and we use a lot of her Padme lines from Clone Wars in the sequel series.
You know what? I might be doubting myself. It might not be Tom Kane who voices.
Wow, because I would be,
Dooku.
I'd be sad if Tom Kane had a stroke. I mean, it'd be sad.
He did.
whoever
No,
got it.
no, he
Tom
did.
Tom Kane absolutely had a stroke and no longer will
He
be
no
doing any
longer
voice acting.
Yeah.
Which is a big shame because he's pull up his IMDb page. I mean, he's got
a legend.
Legend.
yeah,
definitely.
he's got a crazy amount of credits. He's been in everything you know and love. I'm trying to remember who
I
did.
think he was even in Electric Boogaloo.
All right.
What's it called?
Uh,
Beat 2.
so the other
that
trailer-
Breaking
Electric
2.
Movie?
Breaking 2. Electric Boogaloo.
we had Mandalorian,
Mandalorian.
Tales of the Jedi.
We
Bad
got
Batch.
some details from
D23 Tales.
we got the Bad Batch trailer,
Yes.
which has Gunji from Clone Wars.
Love
Oh,
that.
wait. One thing we didn't touch upon in Tales of the Jedi, Yaddle.
Yaddle.
Yeah,
Yaddle. Yeah, I'm
Yaddle's
telling
back.
you what.
People are excited
Yaddle
for
is
Yaddle.
Oh my
the
God.
Yaddle is going to be the sex icon of next year. I'm telling you now.
Is
I-
Yaddle the
I-
new Baby Yoda next season?
Yeah, which is ironic because Yaddle has been a character for 21 years
Yeah.
now. 23 years.
What's the
Yes.
other? What's the
I know.
other? Forgive me right now because what was the other Yoda looking dude with the upside down ears? Even Piell. Wait,
Even Piell
Even
is
Piell.
is not a Yoda. He is a different species.
Different species. Kind of looks like Yoda.
But looks, yeah.
his storyline arc in Clone Wars and his fantastic death is so epic.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert, but yeah, I just love that they've taken characters from there. You know, just a side character in the movies.
And, you know, side note, if you play the Forces and Destiny role-playing game, he also has a great storyline in that, too.
Look at that.
Awesome.
We're learning so much these days.
see.
All right, so
I don't know half of what's going on today.
Yeah, do you
Glad
know what
you could be
KOTOR
here,
is?
Brandon?
Brandon, have
Yeah.
you ever played KOTOR?
No.
Oh.
All right,
Did you
thanks.
see some of you and Janine one time, or is that you?
I don't.
Janine
I don't,
Machine.
I don't even know what you're about to say.
Okay.
Janine-
You need to commit before I say what I say. You need to commit.
Hey, you and Brandon. Oh wait, was it you, Kevin? Which one of you did what I'm about to say that I haven't said yet?
Remember when we went and hung out at the Santa Monica boardwalk and the pier, and
Yeah.
then I got roped into being in some porn star's video?
Yeah, I took the
and-
video.
Oh yeah,
I was
I
not
met
there
a
that
porn
day.
star.
Yeah, you weren't there, yeah.
Oh, he wasn't there. So you
know
saw
what?
some of KOTOR. You've never seen. By the way,
I've
that
seen
relates to
a scene
KOTOR.
or
Have you
two.
seen his movie?
I've seen a little bit, like a scene.
I like that.
I saw the guy on the thing.
And now all the
Bantha. You know that one? He did it. It's not in the game. He
Not
had
in
it.
the
That
game.
I saw that scene that he had.
Oh,
The
yeah,
swoop-
yeah, when
The
I-
swoop
yeah.
bites
Thank
when
you
you befriend the Tuscans.
yeah. See, no, that's not.
All right.
That's not
Real quick. I was wrong. Tom
There's a cat that just
we
jumped
got a
on.
cat. Yeah.
What's
yeah.
the cat's name?
Oh, that's
Goose.
Diva.
Diva. Yeah,
Diva.
Diva.
Oh, I
is
thought it was Galaxy.
Diva, you
No,
are
Galaxy's the other one.
Diva. You're
And-
live on the podcast. Do you have anything to tell us?
Feed me.
No? All right.
Probably.
I do want
No
to.
comment.
I do want to call out here. I was wrong. Tom Kane was not the voice of Dooku. It was Corey Burton.
Okay. see, that's important.
Tom Kane did have a stroke. He is an
Yes.
amazing voice actor and no longer voice acts.
Yes. There we go.
But Corey Burton.
Fact checked
Voice
yourself
Dooku.
in the same.
Corey
episode.
Burton without stroke, still voice acts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that cat may or may not be a Flurkin. We don't know.
We don't know.
That's
right.
another-
It probably is.
Wrong
actually.
franchise and podcast. That's for our
Space.
other show
It's
called
canon.
Thunderbolts Inc.
Thunderbolts.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't
Thunder-
find an equivalent. Was a scoundrel in the Marvel.
Thunderbolts.
all right. So yeah, those are the three trailers that like.
Well, Andor too.
Well, and then yeah, Andor. So 4.
Yeah, we got an Andor trailer. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end.
Yeah, a little bit at the end. Yeah.
But we also got some details on
Disneyland.
Skeleton Crew.
Oh,
Actually, I missed this. I didn't.
Okay,
read up on
so
this.
Skeleton Crew is going to be sort of this.
I mean, I saw it at Celebration or the announcement Celebration. I didn't know if there was more.
Oh,
at
okay, yeah.
D23.
So we just got some discussion from the director, who basically said they're shooting for an Amblin style look to the show.
It's gonna be like a Super 8, like ET.
Yeah, it's
Stranger Things hybrid mashup.
Yeah,
sort
from what
of.
we know, it's kind of going to be a horror bent to it. And then Favreau did mention that the whole reason they got John Watts to direct was that they worked together on Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
And he said that if it weren't for the Spider-Man films, they probably wouldn't have gotten John Watts, which is pretty interesting.
Wow.
They have $136 million budget on this thing, so they're putting some money in it.
I mean,
That's
I
some
am
scratch.
just very, very curious about what this is going to look like, what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, the one other note that we have is that it's set after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Do you know how far back?
I don't know how
so
far.
I wonder if it's between Mandalorian and Return of the Jedi,
Well,
or
That makes you think like they're totally setting up this shared cinematic universe of the Mando.
it does
Let's
make
call it
sense.
the
Yeah, it
Mandoverse,
does
right?
make sense, yeah.
Eventually, they can do like an Avengers style super crossover movie if they wanted, where you
think
literally
it's kinda
bring in
happening, I feel
all
like,
these
in Mandalorian
characters
Season 3.
in it. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I always kind of assumed was going to happen when they announced all these shows, like Ahsoka, and they were going to have the Rangers
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
New
yeah.
Republic.
They were setting up this,
But like,
spin-off
it seemed like they were all going to
universe.
come together in like a combined thing for like the reclaiming of Mandalore.
I feel like it's
That would be
regardless, it's all going to come ahead with the Ahsoka series and Thrawn. I feel like because Gideon, all right, but Thrawn, he's the dude right now. That look at this cat. Look at
Yeah.
look at this cat.
You know,
All
this,
right.
is, this is great. I can't have a cat because my girlfriend's allergic, so
Oh.
I just get to go home and.
Oh, yeah. You better wash your hands before you leave. Okay. There's okay. That's
that cat is far too
adorable.
trusting.
For those on our podcast feed, he's.
we don't have a podcast.
I know, but I've
Yeah,
always wanted.
this
I've
is
always
a-
wanted to say that. I've always wanted to say that. For those on our
For our
podcast
audio
feed,
listeners.
For our
yeah, audio listeners only.
You know what? Here's what I want to say to our audio listeners. We can curse on here, right?
We can do whatever we want on here.
Here's what I want to say to our audio
Why don't
audio
Kevin, Kevin,
listeners.
it's your channel.
I don't know. Are we allowed to cuss on channel? I don't know. We had a fake decapitation using 2003 graphics, and a parent complained once and took a 10-minute segment of my movie down in like 2007.
Well, that's
I got a
great.
strike.
Our show is called Scoundrels Inc. So
Yeah.
audio listeners, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Not you. You're cool. You. Why are you listening?
You can just bleep it. Worst
Well,
case.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, Kevin. Editor.
It's me.
Mark it. Hold on. Mark it.
Okay, that's
I
great.
feel like we should have a podcast feed. I think we can get like 15 cents per 1,000 listeners just for saying, "Hey, get you know,
that's pretty good.
whatever."
Brought
it's
to you by
called."
MeUndies.
Oh, boy.
MeUndies.
Yeah,
That is the official
this
podcast.
is brought to you by Carbon Health. You know, healthcare is expensive in this country, so might as well give it to somebody. Give it to them.
You're accidentally ordering things on my Amazon cat.
Oh wow, what do you get? What'd you get?
I don't know, some children's book.
She's a reader. She's a
Yeah,
reader.
she's
That's good.
a smart cat.
Start 'em age.
Smart
Start
cat.
'em young age.
Um,
Young age. Anyways,
yeah. So
old
what
is
do
the cat?
you guys think of Skeleton Crew, like overall?
I don't know.
Okay, but I mean, like, what are
'cause
you?
Jude Law, right?
We know it's Jude Law. We know we've
I ain't
seen
trying to be grumpy old man. I just wish they did a Lost Stars.
adaptation.
adaptation.
Okay, well, we're talking about.
I know, but what I'm saying
Skeleton
is
Crew.
that what good. Have you read Lost Stars?
I have not.
Okay, Lost
Fantastic.
Stars.
But
I, know,
I
I
feel
hear
like
great
the
things, and I
vibe-
hope it becomes a thing.
The
so I
vibe,
can just
but
watch it and not read it.
I'm not just shouting something with turrets or something. The vibe of Lost Stars is basically. I always felt that would be what seems like this vibe of Skeleton Crew is like that
Yeah, it's
young
kinda got-
adult style vibe to it. By the way, Lost Stars is a fantastic novel, probably one of the best novels ever written in Star Wars.
That's what I hear. That's
Claudia
why
Gray.
I'm waiting for the movie.
But yeah.
I was in the same haunted mansion elevator as Claudia Gray.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and
Are these
great.
walls really moving?
Yeah.
And is that actually Claudia
she reached.
Gray?
We were at Disneyland after Celebration, and she reaches over and tugs Alex on the shoulder, like, "Hey, Alex."
Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
She's
a fan.
That's a good segue too. I don't think it's in your notes, but they did announce that the Mandalorian and Grogu are going to be now walking around
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a big deal that people aren't talking about, but he has a fully animatronic Grogu in his
Just like
satchel?
in his satchel, and it is full. If you see close-up footage, it is full audio animatronics Disneyland, which is crazy because that technology is usually quite wired down. And so for him to be able to just walk around,
That's
I mean,
cool.
yeah, that technology is just jumping up, and it makes you also get excited because eventually, originally, Galaxy's Edge takes place during the sequel trilogy. A lot of people thought that was a misfire. Like, why wasn't, why do you not have, you can't have Vader walk around now because Kylo Ren's there and it's like part of canon stuff, Batu, right? But now with Mandalorian showing up, that's in the post-Return of the Jedi era. That's not in the sequel era. And so I do believe that we're going to start seeing, we had Boba Fett now walking around too, and Fennec Shan, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they've started yet. I know I remember seeing the costumes. I don't know if they're actually out in the park yet, though.
But it's great because they're
at least
slowly,
not here. At least not here in Anaheim.
The dream will be that every other, maybe in the evenings, daytime you get Kylo Ren, and in the evenings you get Vader or something like that.
Well,
but we want Vader.
We don't know how old Din Djarin is under that helmet. He could be 30 years older under there. And Grogu's going to look the same because of the species.
Yeah, all that tells us is canonically, Grogu and Din Djarin are alive and look identical.
Right. They don't age.
At the time of Episode 9. Well, okay, so Galaxy's Edge, actually, this is something I want to talk about later. We're going to do, one day we'll do a full episode on Galaxy's Edge. Have we all been to Galaxy's Edge?
Yes, but I have not been on Rise of the Resistance yet.
I have.
You're telling me, you're telling, okay.
It wasn't open.
Should we humble brag about our
Oh, dude, we got to tell this story.
It's our pilot episode. You got to talk
so
about
good.
us being pilots. So we went on the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and you actually tell this story quite funny.
Yeah, so
you like to make fun of me.
So
you bypassed the compressor.
Oh, we bypassed a 6-year-old almost. Thanks to this one. So
hey.
Kevin's like, we got to meet the pilots, right? We got to meet the pilots up front because it holds
He's never
6.
been there.
Holds 6 on the ride,
All I said is, hey, you can request to be a pilot. Like, you don't have to just
you
sit
can
and get assigned.
Engineer or gunner or pilot, right? So we're going to get in line, and Kevin is super excited. Want to request to be pilots. And
For him, it's first time.
Yeah, for me, it was my first time, and
Just for him.
Yeah, just for me.
Were you left or right pilot?
I was on the left.
I let him have the side where he can pull the.
You move side to side.
Yeah.
And I let him actually pull the. I'm nice. I let him pull the hyperspace.
That's on the other side.
I know, but I let him pull it too.
You guys
I'm a nice friend.
You guys should have done the thing where you both put your hand on the
How do you know that we did it?
Well, here's
there.
the story. So, in my defense, I did not know there was a said 6-year-old excited to be a pilot as well, and the person in charge of everything.
I literally did this to Kevin.
Yeah, well, hold on. The person in charge was ignoring the color assignments that you had.
Oh, that's right.
And
yeah.
so he was like, okay, we need your pilots. And these two just walked up unaware or whatever. And so I just look over and I'm like, no, actually, we're pilots. And I look down and there's a kid like I just knocked over his ice cream. And Frank literally
Make-A-Wish.
Literally hits me. Literally hits me. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, no, that's cool. You'll be pilot. And then the guy was like, granted, the guy was like, oh, yeah, it's my bad. You can be the pilots on the next round. So I didn't actually kick this kid over. But yeah, at first, I was like, before seeing the kid, I was like, actually, no. And it's already embarrassing, by the way, that we had to act like, could we be the pilots, please? But, we got to be the pilots. But here's the thing. Because of that thing where the guy messed up. The mishap. When we got seated, we were waiting for, four other people, like probably an old couple that has never seen Star Wars before, some kid that's going to press all the buttons.
Yeah.
No. We get in there and seated, and the guy's like, it's just you guys, and leaves. And so it's just me and Frank, Han and Chewie style, flying the Falcon. And when that happens, everything else is automated, and they usually do a better job than any podunk in the the theme park will do. And so we got to fly the Millennium Falcon. And what's crazy, I still think this is a weird thing. You must have been so excited you pressed record twice, because he was convinced that GPS would not allow him to film in
I could not. My phone, for whatever reason,
how many
just
playthroughs
would
have
not
you seen?
record. It would not. And I was even recording walking into the cockpit, and I'm walking, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. I didn't touch anything.
It's like Bruce Wayne from Batman v Superman.
Stopped.
Press the button.
You went through some zone where it's kills your device, or whatever, and I could not get it back.
Rises.
I was so pissed because I was like, it's just us two.
But
anyways,
forced him to focus on the mission. But we were just, you imagine being in the Falcon alone, just the two of us, we geeked out. And
it was great.
There's a mini game there with an asteroid field. You don't know. You only get the asteroid field if other people are having trouble getting on or off, because it's a rotating platform. And you notice in the ride, you start to rotate at the beginning before you take off. That's a rotating platform as the next thing people go through.
Way to kill the magic, Kevin.
Yeah, you're not actually flying in a Millennium Falcon. However, if someone has trouble getting on or off, you you get to fly an asteroid field mini level. And so we got to do that too. So, I mean, and that happens very rarely. If you've had the asteroid level in the Smuggler's Run, go play the lottery. You're having a good day.
Have you ever, Kevin, have you ever had issues getting off that ride?
Never. Every time, buddy. And usually before like the 5 minutes are up.
I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust a kid to fly a spaceship either.
So I was actually I went to a week ago today. I was at Galaxy's Edge a week ago today with my dad had never been, and long story short, Jill's my partner's sister worked at Disneyland, finally quit. So before she left, she was getting me and my dad in because my dad wanted to see Galaxy's Edge. We did the same thing with him that you did with Frank. We're like, Dad, I want you to pilot the Millennium Falcon. He's a big diehard Star Wars fan. He's up there doing fine. The problem was we were put in there with a single rider, and it was like a 60-year-old lady who was clearly very excited to be in there.
Cool.
But she just had the throttle forward the whole time, which is not how you fly that. It just puts you nose first in the. If I could see the prop Falcon.
Oh, you want the
yeah. So we basically did the whole ride.
See, we have
Just
interactive props on this show.
Nose down, scraping the floor of Corellia, and it is the bumpiest freaking experience.
It's kind of
we've ever
like
had.
in Force Awakens where Rey's like skimming, but
Yeah,
instead it's
it's the front.
Yeah.
So moral of the story,
Old ladies can't drive, obviously.
Moral of the story: don't trust anyone but yourself to fly the Falcon.
Or you can trust Frank. We did good. We did
good.
well.
Yeah. That's what we got.
And there is another thing. We need all 6 people to be in it. There's a Chewie mode. And what you do is before you take off, if you do everything wrong
get a
all at the
Charleston
same
Chew at the
time,
end.
instead of hearing Hondo give you the directions throughout the flight,
Hondo's
it's
a
just
G.
Chewie yelling at you. It's literally Chewie mode. So
hilarious.
there's 2 little Smuggler Run tidbits there for you. And another tidbit too. Single rider, not so bad. If you don't want to wait 40 minutes, you literally can go in single rider and walk up and wait 3 minutes, and then you sit. You're usually in the engineers.
3 minutes of playtime.
Fine.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Kevin says, and he gets off in 5 minutes. Yeah.
I feel like Brandon Hanna, we don't need like a soundboard guy like in Howard Stern. Like it's just him. He's like our soundboard voice.
I was gonna say something, but then Brandon did that, and I can't remember now.
Well, let's
What are you
move.
doing up there?
How are we doing on? We only got a certain amount of time with the recorder, right? How
yeah,
we
we
doing
still
on
have
time?
like
Oh my God,
90
it's not
hours to go.
recording.
Great.
Yeah, now's a good time to check that. Actually,
Cool.
Is that recording?
Now's
it's
a good time,
oh,
45 minutes
We're
in.
at we're in an hour.
Great. Okay.
We're already at an hour.
Yeah.
For the 3 of you still
Time
watching.
flies when you're.
Yeah, for those
Time
of you
flies
that
when you're
Pick up
KOTORing it
your
up.
Arby's coupon down at the mall at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay.
All right,
For our
Arby's,
audio
7-Eleven,
listeners.
Arby's, they
Domino's.
have the horsey sauce.
How many like chains are we just gonna
not
name
actually,
name on this show? Domino's, 7-Eleven.
Can they sue us for that?
Arby's?
Yeah,
can
especially if they
try.
hate the content, they'll be like, "We did not sponsor you
I
guys."
feel like if we just say enough things, eventually checks will just start coming in.
Do you think so? It
Yeah.
works? Yeah.
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 I also feel like we're kind of getting wild here because we're drinking a lot of this sugar.
Yeah.
So we're bouncing off the walls.
Well, and some of these big gulps are special big gulps.
Well,
Frank, you need
I was drinking
catch-
my Red Bull. That's another name we just.
a Red Bull. It gives us wings.
With 3 eyes.
Wait, Red Bull has 3 eyes?
Wings. Because they
Oh,
got
yeah.
in trouble.
flats only.
Yeah, they
I
can't
thought-
Actually give you wings.
Now I'm actually hungry for
Same
chicken
reason
wings.
why they spell fake chicken incorrectly, so you can't sue them for calling it chicken.
Interesting.
The more you know.
Wow.
That's not
I
Would
learned a thing.
Dexter Jetster do such a thing?
Yeah, probably.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that guy's look.
He sells Jawa juice, dude.
Yeah, he's.
What is Java juice?
You
Why
don't
does
want to know.
Obi-Wan drink?
You don't want to
don't wanna
know.
Iris out.
You want a cup of Java juice?
What a line.
Schmodown trivia, naming that droid, Wa-7. Probably a little form of waitress 7.
Yeah.
WA-7.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Schmodown, two-time
Who do you
champion.
think would win in a fight, that droid or TC-14?
Oh,
Wa-7.
WA7.
Brandon, you want
WA7
to tell
wins
them the
any
story
day.
Yeah,
of
'cause
TC-14?
Yeah,
No.
Bravo leader.
We'll tell that. We'll save that for another show. We have a TC-14 story.
All right,
How
let's.
do you tease us with that? You got to go. We're running out of time.
Well, yeah,
People
we've
got
got
hurt.
we've got
Next
enough,
week, we'll put it in the notes.
We've done a tangent enough on this one, so let's
Yeah.
let's wrap it up here. We've got some stuff with Ahsoka. So this actually isn't from D23, but it came out during D23. CineLeaks confirmed that Amon Esfandi is going to play Ezra in the Ahsoka show. They also confirmed that the gentleman from Squid Game,
Yes.
I don't know his name. I don't have it in the show notes. The gentleman from Squid Game is also going to be in the Acolyte series. So Amon Esfandi looks exactly like Ezra Bridger. It's
Nailed it.
uncanny.
I feel bad for that Aladdin actor guy because like he also got no love after doing
yeah,
Aladdin.
that's what I was.
And
gonna
he was
say
a big proponent of trying to get on.
Yeah, he very much wanted to play. And he actually came out and tweeted and said like, "Hey, I wanted this, but once I saw that other guy, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's got it."
Yeah.
Well, he also said like he felt like he didn't have a fair shot at it, which is like really interesting way to word that tweet.
I didn't read it that way.
No, that's what his little words
Yeah,
were.
that's what he said.
He didn't feel like he had a fair shot at it, or didn't.
He hasn't had a fair go out of things after Aladdin anyway.
No.
Like, isn't
Which
that
is a shame because I thought he was great in Aladdin.
Yeah, and it's like he apparently had not gotten a job since then. Like, how do you headline a Disney movie
By the way,
like that? No one sees any money in you.
By the way, instead of just saying that Aladdin actor, we should say Mina Masood.
Yeah, Mina Masood. Yeah.
Yes, I meant.
No, I know.
I call him M squared or double M.
Eminem.
Double M, dude.
Okay.
What's up, Dub M?
I'm
Eminem's
sure he
taken.
appreciates that. Now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys appreciated me peeking there.
Yeah, I'm sure we've peaked a lot in this
Am I
show or
popping
been
my
too
peas?
quiet.
Am I popping my peas?
Do we
on-
need?
Are you doing it on purpose right now? Are you really?
No, I'm trying. I'm looking. It's a game. I'm trying to not pop my peas.
Oh my god.
Pea popper.
On top of that, we got a new Andor trailer.
Poppycock.
We got a new Andor trailer, and we also got some
Cassian Andor. Yeah.
Cassian Andor.
I cannot. I just Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Since I was 8 years old.
6 years old.
Is that inappropriate?
6 years old. That's why you weren't a Schmodown champion.
Oh.
You said
here we
8?
go. Here we
Oh,
go.
God.
Listen, I wasn't trying to be historically accurate.
He wasn't trying.
He's trying to capture the spirit of the character.
Exactly. It's called making the character my own. It's what
Making
they
him-
do in
making him
remakes.
2 years old? Older?
Yeah, it's a lot for a 6-year-old to be in a war.
Buzz droids.
Buzz.
So yeah, Cassian
I'll
Andor.
play you right now.
Cassian Andor. So we also got
Buzz,
some
buzz.
stealth footage from the panel. Friend of the show, Christian Harloff.
Yes.
Took some cell phone footage of the.
Interesting.
Don't tell anyone.
Are we playing
Don't tell
that?
anyone, even though we posted it on his YouTube channel. But really, the footage doesn't say much. Basically, just gave a clip of Diego Luna talking about Cassian's personal journey in the show. It was really kind of a big nothing burger.
I mean, honestly, I don't need to see anything more
No,
about this
I think
show.
we're all
I've been
sold.
good to go for like months.
I think,
Like honestly, since Celebration, like I've been good to go.
I've heard from a source that I cannot say who, but that
boy,
was
here
at
we
D23, that that source actually knew someone who saw the whole series and said it's legit like the dark Star Wars that a lot of people have been clamoring for.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
40-year-olds.
It's gonna be like it's Tony Gilroy, dude. Like
And I want to sing the praises of the fact that we're not using the volume as much for this series. Because,
I mean, how could they when everybody else was using it?
yeah, that's fair.
it was booked on Kenobi.
Yeah,
We're in it right
Kenobi,
now.
Mandalorian, Ahsoka.
Everyone else
like,
has overused
Everyone else
the
is
volume.
using it.
You know
Keno-
what's
yeah.
funny? That's one of those things where I wish I almost never knew they did it because now I like look for it. It's like
well,
a
then,
game.
then you just ruin your own experience.
Some
And
say
that's
No,
fine.
you
Taika
just
Waititi
you
is
ruined
still
it for
there
me.
I didn't ruin nothing.
in
For
the
it.
volume.
I will hear that later.
I don't know what he said either.
I don't
but that's something to tune in for later.
yes.
Let's get those likes and subscribes up. Smash that like button.
He's trapped. He can't get out.
Oh my god.
They keep changing the image and he can't find the door.
All right, that's fine.
Kevin relents.
I don't remember being on Hoth. Oh look, Tatooine.
Where am I?
Is this Tatooine or Jakku? Oh, there's Uncle Plot.
How did I get in Hobbiton?
Oh my god. All right. We
Sailing on off the rails, huh?
Yep.
It's funny though. House of the Dragon used the volume too, right? And there was
yeah,
some-
they did.
And
They
like
did.
I love Kenobi. Everybody knows my love of that show.
Well,
but the House of the Dragon used the volume.
I
I
believe
did
way
not know
more.
that until you just.
I
said it right
believe
now.
so
Yeah.
did. I believe so did the Batman.
Yes, they
The
did.
Batman
from
did
yes.
on the yeah.
And you don't in either of those you don't notice.
Yeah.
But it's also not. I feel like the problem was Obi-Wan kind of leaned too heavily on it. They did a lot of
Well,
scenes.
I mean, it was COVID, right? When they. So, I mean,
yeah,
like,
but I mean, it's not. It's COVID, sure, but they.
But
still,
all the clones were wearing their masks.
Yeah, they still got 50 501st members to come in and.
Wear masks.
I mean, look,
all
probably
had to
from
be
like
the
a
same height,
budgetary
Yeah, but they were all wearing
issue
masks.
and-
Again.
Which
think
my
they were.
uh,
That was
my
my third
my,
attempt at that
my
joke, but no one thought
501st
it was funny.
contact
We did.
my 501st contact did tell me they were double masked under the helmets.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Which is crazy because if you know how those guys do their suits, they have a balaclava over their mouth,
Yeah.
and then they had two masks, and then the
See,
helmet.
that's like wearing two condoms. Like you need one. When you wear two,
well, that's
it's
not
just too
it's not
many.
True.
Right, Brandon?
I'll tell you one. COVID was not getting out of that mask. That's for sure.
That's for sure. What about in?
Hayden Christensen is safe. Rest assured.
That's right. That's all we care about, really. Hayden and Ewan.
Yes.
Those are the two that we need to make sure.
We are going to preview, or we are going to talk about Andor exclusively next week. We're covering 3 episodes in one, right? So
Yeah, 3
next
episodes in
week's
there.
episode is probably going to largely lean on that. We'll also do I don't know if we talked about the meme madness yet, but
Nope.
Yeah, let's talk about that now.
Show's gonna be much more structured in the future, feeking multiple
It will
segments,
It will not.
including meme.
No, that's the part I
madness.
like
Yeah,
about
tell
this,
us
by
all
the
about
way, is
Fucking G.I. Joe.
Madness. Yeah, we are going to each present memes.
Star
Some
Wars memes.
Star Wars, some funny, some not so funny. We'll see. And then you, the audience,
we'll vote.
will vote
Every week.
Every week on the Discord, maybe.
Discord or Twitter.
Or the
Twitter.
fan page.
We have a fan page. If you're not on it, you're a fake
Well,
fan.
we'll probably post a community post with a poll on YouTube, and then either Discord or Twitter, one of the two.
I don't mean to gatekeep, but if you're not on the fan page, you're a fake fan. Okay?
Some people don't have.
This comes from our text thread where we would send we'd send memes and stuff like that, and then have like
Yeah,
meme
this is
competitions.
that's
And so we just thought it would be funny because we are sending memes all the time, and that it would be fun to get the audience in on it too. And what we're also going to do is the audience will get to submit their memes, and we will choose one to actually go against the other 4. So we'll have us 4, and then one special guest from the fans have their meme, and then the fans will get to vote. And I'm wondering if we post the memes and do not say who had each meme,
I think-
and
I
then we
think-
find out later.
I think that's how we're gonna do it.
Because otherwise,
Now,
I think
the
people are
one-
going to start never voting
the
for mine
one
on purpose.
It's true.
The one caveat I want to give is if we do a Twitter post. Actually, I would have to check. I know YouTube community posts and Twitter posts, we can only have 4 options.
Yeah.
So we might not be able to put the fan.
So the one with the least votes doesn't get on the poll the next.
Well, yeah. So
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe we can decide amongst ourselves, like, no, that one's shit.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
we will. We'll be like, nah.
Or like once a week, someone
Or if I just don't
once a
find
week
one, I
someone
don't
bows
mind.
out and
Yeah.
becomes the judge as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah,
it-
actually,
it
that's not a bad.
comprises,
That's
so.
we could rotate. We could do like an apples to apples kind of style.
And that would be the one week that I'm guaranteed to not win.
Yeah. Well, and the winner gets a belt, right?
Yes, we're gonna have a belt made through the good folks, a friend of the podcast,
Brad Gilmore.
Reality of Wrestling Belt Makers, and we're gonna have a big championship belt called the Meme Madness Belt.
Trivia
I'm
showdown.
sure this is
champion.
brand new news to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah, he said he was
that'll
gonna
be a
do it
fun
pro
thing.
bono.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna want to get the audience involved. I loved hearing from you fans when we were doing the KOTOR radios. We want to continue doing that. Hopefully not in the form of evil, hateful comments about how my thing looks like a baby's toy, quoting Back to the Future.
What thing?
No, I didn't mean thing. I meant movie. That sounds. Please, someone don't clip that out. My thing
Oh
looks
my
like a baby
God.
toy.
Oh man, that was
Yeah. So we're also gonna
pilot
do,
episode. Just remember.
My ideal, I'd like to get listener view. I'd like to get listener mail and listener voicemail going too.
Feedback.
So
Yeah, feedback.
that'd be great.
Feedback.
Listener voicemail is going to take some doing while we listener voice. Yeah, you're right. Listener voicemail will take some doing while we don't have monitor headphones on
Not
because
yet.
we currently can't.
Because we're just starting out,
Look.
guys. This is day one.
This is our pilot episode of Scoundrels, Inc.
Scoundrels of the Force.
Nope, that's nope,
That's not us.
Never heard of that show. What's that? What's that?
Scoundrel Council. Nope, that's not us.
Shout out
Biff-
to
Biff
PLD,
Council.
buddy. You're the
Council.
PLD. Shout out to PLD, the OG scoundrel of our
4
lives.
scoundrels.
Uh,
a happy hour.
Scoundrel Happy Hour, yeah,
Scoundrel happy. Yeah.
with Joel and Molly.
yeah.
I just can't wait to see.
No, I was actually about Force Toast.
Oh,
with,
Force Toast. Yes. Yeah.
That's
You're
what
right.
I was referencing, but also that works as well.
I can't wait to see what our thumbnail is going to look like. Who's deciding to make it?
It's gonna look like what we
posted,
showed you
yeah.
for the first one.
We'll,
Is that really? That's the first one?
we'll just put a title on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the like future ones, yeah, we'll have an actual like different.
we'll
video.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Again, this is day one. Is that it? Or
No,
Wrapping up here.
One thing, Kevin. There's been some. Kevin, there's been some talk about Kenobi edits on the internet. Now, let's keep this brief. But where can the folks find your Kenobi edit, which is the superior Kenobi edit on the internet?
Thank you.
Because I've definitely watched it.
He did not watch it. None of these people watched it.
you won't let me
I
watch
was told
these
to
things.
wait. We would get.
That's-
Wait,
yeah,
we
wait,
were-
stop.
I
not a
told you not to
sponsor.
watch
what-
the other one.
Our plan is to watch that together and film our reactions to it.
It would be great.
For the Patreon.
I would say that
the
the
Patreon,
other
it's the Patreon.
inferior version had some good ideas, but they went a little overboard on rescoring everything. And when you start doing that, it starts feeling like a fan film. One of the things I prided myself with KOTOR was we were really exercising restraint in our scores. We weren't using a lot. I was using a lot of themes from other movies. The first KOTOR movie, I had music from Muppet Treasure Island.
I think the way you
from-
used the Jaws theme.
No, I did not use the Jaws theme. That's a funny joke.
The way you actually incorporated Mission Impossible thing.
That's not funny.
genius.
That's not
I was
funny.
like,
They're gonna
wow.
believe you. They're gonna believe you. Muppet, but
It'll
I
get
used,
them to watch, I think, actually.
I give up. I don't know what I was gonna say. No, I was just saying.
I can't believe he got Julia Stiles to come in and do a whole dance number.
To save they had to save the
Yeah.
last night.
When we rescored, we did exercise restraint. We used a lot of our techniques we did for KOTOR, which was using a lot of other themes that weren't so recognizable, interweaving it with slight mentions of themes from before.
I like how Sean said brief, knowing that would not be the case.
No.
I was like, it was going to be
I
brief,
said,
but
hey,
you guys
where-
kept interrupting.
Because I said, where can they find
And then
The ultimate.
yeah, and then we get a review on the entire.
honestly,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
didn't
edit
wanna-
First of all, that was
what-
very parental of you.
I
I'm
didn't
not
want
going to lie.
I didn't want to blast the other guy's film. I just wanted
I
people
know.
to
and
be
then
able
he
to find your
just went
film.
knee deep, and I was like, "Good lord."
The whole point is when people were seeing that other film, they were commenting on how it was crap and how it was overdone. And so then people are like, "Oh, you have
Somewhere.
I don't want to watch yours either." And it's like, "No, if you watch mine, you'll see we had a great care." And I know you said short, and I know you said brief, but I don't care. I'm talking about
Yeah,
the Kenobi
I know.
edit. You guys don't care about my
Are you
Kenobi
are
edit.
you
I
a
don't.
boxer shorts guy or a briefs guy?
He's a Long John's guy.
Use your imagination.
No.
Anyways, wait till you'll see my cut of Jurassic World Dominion. It's gonna be a crisp 90 minutes.
You want to find the Kenobi cut? You just DM me. To answer the short answer, you can just DM me.
You know
I
what,
don't
you
have
can-
it posted publicly. That was not why we did
You
it.
want to see it? You gotta beg for it. Okay.
Get on your knees. and
Kevin,
tell me
can
you
we
love
post it in the Discord?
No.
From Home Alone.
We're not trying. We literally, if you write me, well, in Discord, I don't know. We've been trying to do it.
'Cause-
If you write me, I send you a link because, like, I'm giving them a Google Drive link. Like, we're not hosting it.
Well, because Discord is like it's not posting it to the public, right? It is a private space.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll
There you go. We'll
we're
think
gonna-
about that.
Yeah, we're gonna post it somewhere so that that's available. And we're gonna do pretty soon when we get a free weekend. We're gonna get together and watch that.
That's it.
I think that's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's
wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up.
See ya.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes. Am I wrapping it up? Oh, hey, Sean, where can they find you? Is
Well, no.
that how you wrap up a show? I forget.
Basically.
Kevin, when can people expect updates on KOTOR stuff?
Well, we are literally just ramping up production again. So this next episode is going to happen before you know it because the animatic has been made for quite some time. It was just waiting to get some of the other parts together. So I would say by next week will probably be mostly Andor. I might have something for you, I might not. But in the next like 2 or 3 weeks, you'll start seeing something, and then we'd like to get one of the guys on too and interview them, and they can go through their process of what they do when they actually open up KOTOR. It's pretty fascinating. So
Cool.
Dope.
Sounds good. Look forward to next week talking about Andor, 3-episode premiere. So do whatever you got to do to stay up to 3 a.m. if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
If you're on the East Coast,
Do they have run times for each episode?
I have not seen.
No, we
if
don't
that's
know
been
yet.
reported yet. I'm guessing somewhere around 40 minutes per episode.
It's gonna be 2:30. I'm gonna be like, I hope this next one's 17, like the length of a She-Hulk episode.
We'll put all our socials in the
comment description or the description box. Yeah.
Yeah, if there are any KOTOR fans here discovering these new personalities, they've been on the Schmodown and they're massively entertaining people. They're kind of dicks, obviously, but they're massively entertaining people, and so you should definitely follow all of them. Brandon, tell them where they can find you.
Oh, we're saying it now. Okay.
Well, what I want to know is what do you have big coming up
Say
What,
brief.
big coming
Say
up?
it brief.
When does this air? Tomorrow?
tomorrow?
Well,
Thursday on a Thursday.
it was supposed to come out today, but there's been a delay. That rhymed. You can find me as Professor Particle on a show web series called Scratchpad, premiering on the Honest Network on Wednesday, a week from today.
Well,
What?
I mean,
21st?
Big Bang Theory.
The 21st, September
Yeah.
21st,
There you go.
2022.
You figured it out.
Yeah, I did the math. Yeah, it's like a educational web series for adults. Think Sesame
wow.
Streets meets Mr. Rogers, meets Blue's Clues, but adult themes, coming of age topics, things like that.
Interesting.
And I get to talk about science a little bit
Cool.
on there. So you can stream it on Roku, Fire Stick, or on the Honest website. It's basically spelled Honest like you would think, but drop the H in the beginning.
Okay. There it is.
Yes, and you can find me, Brandon on Science, on TikTok and Instagram, or Brandon on Sci, because they wouldn't let me say the whole thing on Twitter. So I had to cut it off.
So
Like-
Brandon on side.
Like
On
how Obi-Wan likes to cut off limbs,
Yeah.
Twitter likes to cut off handles.
But Psy is spelled like
SCI.
SCI.
Gangnam style Psy.
Yes. Oh my god. No.
Like sci-fi.
Awesome. It was weird. I was trying to
sexy
think of that dude's
lady.
name like earlier in the week. I was like, what is that dude's name?
It all comes,
Anyways,
it all comes.
I don't even know why I was. Sean, where can they find you?
You can find me at Suitupsully on Twitter. This weekend I will be on the Kiwi Jess YouTube channel. I will be hosting Tanked Trivia with Kaiser and Robert Parker.
Well,
They will be getting tanked
Seven
and
people got
doing
that.
trivia.
Robert Parker should be focusing on his title defense coming up at Spectacular.
This is a warm up.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a warm up.
As
Coming
my
for that belt, bub.
As for myself, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at FrankieJ29. And that's it.
Me, I have no social media presence.
Oh.
I've scrubbed
Alright.
myself from the face of the
Yeah.
earth.
Hold on.
You can follow him at Kev Smets.
Is it
on
it's
Twitter?
Kev Smets on Twitter?
Frank Abagnale, Kev Smets on Twitter, Kev Smets on Instagram, Kev Smets. No, and then we also have, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with the KOTOR trilogy Twitter. Are you having a problem now with this too?
No.
You are.
No,
you
we're
are.
laughing
Obviously you are.
'cause you're
I can't
funny
say
and
anything.
you're our friend.
Next episode, I'm not saying a damn thing.
Thank God.
It'll be 20 minutes tops.
That's the episode.
That's it.
No, you just,
This part is
this is where you cut it.
This part, yeah.
I think you thought.
It's been cut.
It's been cut, yeah.
been cut.
You're cut.
You're cut.
Everyone's cut.
See you.
I'm out of order. You're out of
Good
order.
afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Truman Show.
Scoundrel. Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.